could have died that day.
Wow.
I could have died that day. He attempted to kidnap me. And
Wow.
he was like, B, you ain't going nowhere. And so the room, since it was an attic door, it had like a pad, you could padlock it from the outside. So he
Wow.
locked me in the room. I used to do secret fast because he would even want to know when we're fasting. He would tell us to fast, when to fast, what to fast about. He wanted to hear our prayers, what we were praying about. Like our prayers had to be heard by him and be approved. It was
No
crazy.
way.
Yes, it was. Yes, 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 yes. So any of this stuff, sisters, like I know I was leaving out stuff, but because the whole thing was crazy. I've been in circles where Christian women were afraid to even say things like this is going on in their home because they don't
Right.
want to be shamed by the church. So
Right.
this is going on in Christian homes, Hebrew, Muslim, any kind of background.
Hey, hey everybody, it's Tanja, your friendly neighborhood self-defense instructor. I empower Black women through teaching Krav Maga in person and online. All right, y'all, I'm just so glad that you could join me to highlight survivors' voices. So this is my very first interview that I'm doing with the wonderful Sister Chadasha. She was so brave to share how the Most High brought her out of a abusive cult-like relationship. I just want to start off and let you know that I was just so excited that you was willing to do this. This is so powerful. I always think about how we overcome by the word of our testimony and, you know, how much bravery it takes to tell your story, you know. So I appreciate you so much for being willing to do this. And that's what I want to bring to women, that concept of, yes, standing up for yourself, defending yourself. So
Right.
yeah, so I had just wanted to share that with you and I think that's why, you know, your story, my story, these stories, they need to be told so women can know that, you know, you're not less than. It can happen to women across all different educational backgrounds, upbringings and different things like that. And we just want to support each other when it comes to, you know, women sharing their stories.
My heart really goes out to the woman who feels like she's stuck or just recently coming out of a situation because there's a process in breaking all that stuff off and stepping out on your own and, learning to leave this person alone and learning how to love yourself as well. So, no, it doesn't help for someone to have people around them or near them, saying, well, how you let that happen or why you go back or, things of that nature. And so we just want to let sisters know that there are survivors of what
Yeah.
you're going through. There are survivors of what you went through. And even though you feel stuck, listen, this is how the Most High revealed himself to me through
Right.
that because I didn't have nobody else to call on. And he delivered me, he protected me out of various situations. My household started as a two-parent household, but my parents had issues and things like that, and they were separated. I see my dad. He wasn't, the best dad. I don't know what that would mean, but he had his own issues. He had, he was, you know, involved with drugs and stuff like that. And my mom was a single parent, stressed out, young, you know what I'm saying? So, feel like that was the perfect conditions for a domestic violence situation because in that I was looking for love. I was looking for attention. I was, you know what I'm saying? I wanted somebody to tell me I was beautiful. I wasn't hearing these things. So, in high school was my first and my only, Toda Yah. Thank you, Yah, a physical relationship. But domestic violence comes in all kinds of sorts of ways. So it was not my first domestic violence. I mean, it wasn't my last domestic violence situation, but the first and last physical one. That lasted about maybe 2 to 3 years. It was in high school. My first love, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, his household was messed up. Like he didn't his father had passed His mother had a bunch of children. He was the youngest, and the majority of the children were drug addicts.
Oh, wow.
So, and he was in extreme poverty, right? So that set his conditions for him to be an abuser. You know what I mean? So sometimes we look at it as just us being victims or survivors, but that also the abusers have a story as well. And that's what I come to understand. So you got to look for the red flags in situations and kind of not put yourself with that type of person, even though I'm the type of person that I realize now that I have a savior complex. I want to see the good in people. I want to help people be their best, but sometimes that is not for you at that time because you don't know how to do that. You don't know what that's going to come with. So he was not a bad guy per se, because when things were good, they were good, right? And that's what happens in a lot of these situations. When things are good, they're good, but when they're bad. So I can't remember the first time he hit on me, and I cannot remember why I didn't cut it off at that time. I would say it was love, quote unquote. You know, so I keep saying the air quotes because when we young like that, we don't know what love is.
Right, right.
And it did come with the, I'm sorry, never do that again. Those things started to escalate to, more. Like I was starting to expect it at least once or twice a week that we
Wow.
would get into a fight. And, my mom, I moved out of my mom's house because she started to notice, and it was just a very toxic situation.
Right,
And I am in high school. So I was in my senior year of high school. So this is the guy that took me to my prom and, all of the things that you want to remember.
right,
It's like it's attached to this person. Like, I cut him out
right.
my prom pictures and everything. But looking back on it, it's like I kind of blocked it out. And
Mm,
that's something also that you do have to kind of rehash those things so you can just think about why you allowed that situation. So I would say that I wanted love. You know what I'm saying? I wanted love. I wanted somebody that cared. He exuded that. I wanted to be a ride or die. I be blaming some of this music too. I wanted to
right,
be a ride or die. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right,
He
right.
was a hustler because he came out of poverty, so he was selling drugs, getting money fast. We was doing things, and but it wasn't anything in particular that would trigger him. Like it wasn't like he got drunk and that triggered him. It was, now I know that's a demon, but
Yeah,
at that time, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't pinpoint when things would escalate.
right.
And so and jump in, ask me questions because I'm just free flowing.
Okay, okay.
Like I said, it kept escalating. So, you know, at some point, it was just maybe a slap in the face, you know what I'm saying, to a choking and punching and like leaving bruises on my actual face, like that I had to wear makeup and I didn't even know how to wear makeup. So I was looking crazy. Things like putting me out, you know what I'm saying? Because I had
Mhm.
began to live with him, putting me out with all my stuff, like bags of clothes, like putting me out, and just stuff to just disrupt my day, my day, because I was, I had graduated, I was a working woman. I remember one day I showed up to because I was doing like temping services, so I was doing like administrative assistant at different companies and stuff. And one day I had to show up to my assignment with bags of freaking clothes, like garbage bags of clothes, and I was like, I didn't have any place to put them. I had to go to work, and that
Right.
morning we had an argument. It didn't result in anything physical, but he was the mind games. You know what I'm saying? Just the
Mhm.
different things that they put you through. So I had like two big garbage bags of clothes on the bus. I
Right.
went to work,
Wow.
and the lady that sat at the front desk, and this is the first time, the second time that y'all reached out to me that I could remember. in my teenage years, right?
Okay.
And so I come through the door. I had been crying. I look a mess. I have these two big garbage bags, and the lady at the front desk was like, "Put these in the closet." Like she had like a I don't know if it was like a closet or it was something, storage closet or something. So she just started immediately. She just jumped in to help me, and she
Mhm.
said, "Come with me." So we went like to the parking lot area, and she prayed for me.
Mhm.
She prayed for me. And I told her what had happened, and she prayed for me. And she told me, leave him alone. All the things that women tell us and stuff like that. But I didn't leave him alone, of course. He came with the I'm sorry's and the da da da. And, I didn't want to go back to my mother's house because of pride. You know what I'm saying? I had left. I was big on my own and everything. And I didn't really have anywhere else to go. So at the time we was living with his sister, and so he put me out his sister house. We living but anyway. At the time we was living with his sister, and she had also told me on another instant. So it's women that will speak to you, that will be put in your path, that you got to listen. Sis, like, I mean, I know that you love the man and everything, but when these women are coming to you and dropping these jewels, you got to listen. It's for your safety. Anyway,
Yeah.
his sister told me, leave that boy alone. He ain't going to do you no good. She pulled me in the bathroom and told me this one day. I remember. But still, this is my boo. I love him. He going to get better. He going through some things, and I'm a strong woman. I can handle it. Like, I
Right.
can handle what he's dishing out. I ain't dead. You know what I'm saying? I could handle it. And so it got to the point that stupid things would trigger him. Like if I'm coming home 5 minutes late from work, I was cheating. Like just crazy stuff. He wasn't coming home. He would be out all night. And I'm living in his family house, so I'm looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it just got to the point where I just didn't want to live like that no more. I didn't want it anymore. I did not want it anymore. I was young. My friends was teasing me. Like my friends was out there. They was having a good time. I'm looking crazy physically and looking crazy
Wow.
emotionally to them. They like, yo, why is you dealing with this guy? Like you a beautiful girl. Like what is wrong with you? We have began to like do drugs. So I'm looking like
I've been there. Yes. Yes.
I,
I get you.
I was just tired of living like that. I was
Um,
tired of living like that. And I remember one night praying. This man had came in, just started beating me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was praying, and I forgot what my prayer was, but I remember that I prayed, and I don't know how I did it, but I got to the door and I ran for my life. I
mm,
ran for my life, and there was some women that was, up the street, and they saw me running, and they called the police and stuff like that.
mm,
I want to say that was the last time, the last encounter,
right,
but
right.
it wasn't.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a process. It's a
Amen.
breaking process.
Yes.
And so I attempted to leave a few times before I actually really left. So at that time, I left with the intentions of leaving for good.
Mm,
And I had moved with one of my family members. I had moved in with one of my cousins and his wife. And with the attempt of starting a new life, I'm leaving this guy alone. And, at this point, my whole entire family knew, everybody knew what I was
okay.
going through. I had showed up to his house with a black eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knew, right? And so, and I was good. But the thing was, his niece was my best friend.
Okay.
So when you're leaving, you really gotta like cut ties with everybody. Everybody that knows that person that you know. You gotta go ghost from everyone because little by little, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like he was over her house one day. Oh, tell her I miss her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Little things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was supposed to have no contact. That was the agreement with my cousin that listen, you can't have no contact with this guy. Don't give him my phone number because we didn't have cell phones back in them days. It was
Right.
house phones. and he was in beepers. So don't give him my phone number. If he called his house, you out. You know what I'm
Wow. Okay.
saying? And if I find out you talking to him, you out. So that was the agreement. And so I was going to uphold that agreement. That was my true intentions. But the wearing down process, oh, tell him I'm sorry, just different things. And then I began to talk to him again. And he had, I went to visit him, right? And at this time, I'm looking cute, you know what I'm saying? I'm single out in them streets. I was getting my hair done, my nails done. I was looking good. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go show him what
Wow.
he was missing, right?
Wow. Right.
I could have died that day.
Wow.
I could have died that day. He attempted to kidnap me.
Wow.
So we were in, we was in his mother's house. There was like an attic, and that was where he would stay when he went there. And so we went to his mother's house, and nobody was home. And so we in the attic, we chilling and everything. And he just flipped. He flipped, and he just began to spit in my face, tell me I was, all these expletives and everything. And now picture me feeling so stupid, like I was out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like I was free. I put myself back in this situation. I felt so dumb. And he was like, B, you ain't going nowhere. And so the room, since it was an attic door, it had like a pad, you could padlock it from the outside. So he
Wow.
locked me in the room. He locked me in the room. So I'm sitting there, I'm feeling
So hold on, sis.
violated.
You said, hold on for a minute before you continue, sis. You said he tried to kidnap you. No, this kidnapped you, boo. You
He
was
kidnapped me. Yeah,
yes.
I said tried because I got
Right.
away.
Right.
But he kidnapped me. Yeah, his intentions
Right.
was
Right.
to keep me locked in that room to do whatever his crazy mind was thinking to do at that time. But I put myself back in that situation. I'm telling this story because to the sister who's thinking about it, they will try to get you back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they love you too. You know what I'm saying? They will try to get you back, and especially after you leave, they have now it's a sick vendetta now,
Right.
because it's like, oh, you left me, so now it's like an abandonment, neglect. How could you leave me? They hurt too. So you don't know what he's going to do if he sees you again.
Right.
I didn't think that. I thought he was gonna be like, man, she looked good. This is what I lost. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do right. And
Right.
that we was going, you know what I'm saying? No, no.
Wow.
Don't think that. That is a deception of your mind. You are delusional. This person is not a good person for a relationship. They need help. So I prayed again. I prayed again. I don't know what I said or anything, but I know that I tried to open the door and it wasn't shut. Like when I open it, it will open like this much, right?
Okay.
And I could see the padlock. I'm like, how I'm gonna get out of here? And this is the where I knew the Most High was real. Like he delivered me the last time, but I knew. I looked down and I'm like, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm broken. I'm confused. I look down and I see a Barbie pin, and I hear a voice say, take this Barbie pin, straighten it out, pick the lock. Now, I did not know, like, now this is how much room I got to slip
Right.
my hand through and pick this lock. Don't you know that lock open? And I was able to slip my hand through and take the padlock off. Now, that wasn't me. I believe that that was an angel helping me. I believe that y'all sent help because I'm still blown away by that. And so I
Amazing.
take the lock off. I could hear him downstairs playing with his friends like they playing a video game. I said, all right, I'm going to run downstairs, run past them, get out and run for my life. And that's what I did. And that was
Mm.
the last time I saw him. That was the last time I saw him. Yeah.
Praise God, praise God. Sis,
Mhm.
you know, this is Sister Soulja stuff right here. You done did. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I love it, just goes along with the things that we talk about on Sundays and in our meetings and stuff like that. You pray,
Mhm.
and the Most High is going to give you that ability to fight, to escape, to do whatever it is you need to do. I love it. I love it. And I'm just in awe of you, sis, because you didn't stay down there crying, pleading. You prayed and then you acted. And girl, you picked that lock and got out of there. That's amazing. That's amazing. Do you even feel how amazing that is?
It is. And I think back on that today. I still think back on that. And I was like, that was nobody but Yah. Now, I didn't know his name. Yeah. I didn't know anything. I didn't even read the Bible. I probably had skimmed through like Proverbs or something. Like, I didn't know anything. I just knew that you helped me get away the last time. Please help me get away again. Like, I didn't know what this person was going to do. I was scared. I was confused. It was all these things. Yeah. So from that time, I was like, I'm not going back to this
Praise y'all. Amen.
because,
I'm saying.
you know, when you hear of something like that, it does encourage the next sister. All right, let me pray.
Yeah.
Let me pray. You helped her. You can help me. And
Yes.
he helped me get away from that. And
Yeah.
what I was saying was we got to learn how to learn from our previous mistakes. So you don't go back to a guy like that. But there's plenty of other people that's not good people to be in relationships with as well. So it's not just the physically damaged. I mean, the guy that will do physical abuse. It's also the guy that will do emotional abuse, who's just emotionally unavailable.
Yes.
So I don't know if you have any questions about that,
I
about
just
what I'm
I
talking
just
about.
wanted to build on what you said. It's not just physical, it's emotional. You have spiritual abuse. You know, men love to quote those scriptures on you. You know what I'm saying? Let's not just say men, let's say abusers, control.
Mm-hmm.
Love to put those scriptures on you. It's financial. They love, don't let them earn all the money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, they use the money to manipulate. So there's so many ways to abuse people. And we're not just talking about relationships, we're talking about just in general,
In
how
general.
people are. So when you get in relationships, you have all these levels of ways people can harm other people. So it definitely
Mm-hmm.
is
With your money, with your time. If that person doesn't like it, it's not for that person. I mean, of course, within reason. Don't don't get crazy and
right,
but
right. We're not in these streets doing whatever we want like that.
right, right, right. Because you still got a father to answer to. Like I'm not telling you to go crazy,
Yeah.
but I was involved with a serial gambler who
Mhm.
would spend my money for his gambling purposes. So it would be like, oh, yeah, play a few numbers for me, and it'll come out to be about $50 worth of numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and then I wouldn't get that money back. If he hit, I might, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't getting that money back, and I was in situations where men was continuously like taking from me, like taking money and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I gave it to him. No, he manipulated you out of it.
Right.
So
Right.
you might have given it to him, but he manipulated it out of you.
Right.
So manipulation, if a man is manipulating you, that is another form of abuse. When someone is manipulating you, oh, I did this for you, you can't do that, or you know what I'm saying? A no is a no. If you told them no, you don't have it. It should not be anything after that. Oh, I know you got it. Oh, but you be doing this. Oh, but you could do like anything like that,
Right.
sis. No, we not doing that because it escalates to other things. Emotional. Anybody calling you out your name, out of your name, calling you bees, hoes, anything but loving and affectionate names.
Right.
No, don't stand for it. Don't. That is emotional abuse. It messes with your mind. And you might, this music might have you out here saying, well, I am a bee. No, you're not. You are a beautiful young lady. You are a beautiful woman. And that's what you are. You're not a female dog. That is what that word means. So we have to start communicating on a level that commands respect. You can be from the hood and listen to no, but you're not going to call me that.
Right.
Find another word. Matter of fact, find somebody else to call because it's over. So just things like that, you know. I was in a situation where the guy, I'm trying to see how I want to come at this. The guy didn't hit me, but he was very verbally, we could say, manipulative. He was very vindictive. He was very, and again, when things are good, they're good. But when you hit those rough patches, you got to see how rough is that terrain.
Mm.
Is it abusive? You know what I'm saying? If it's
Mhm.
just a argument over, why you ain't call me last night? Okay, how far is that going? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I was asleep. Oh, okay. Or is it, nah, I think you was with another dude. Da, 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 da. Like things like that, you don't want to delve into. So anyway, this guy had my mind to the point where, he would. This was the gambler, so that was my money. He wanted other women. Like I never did no threesome stuff, but he wanted like another wife. Because now we're talking about being in the Hebrew community where some of that is permissible, but we had discussed that we were not going to have that kind of relationship. We had discussed that. So again, don't stand on what you stand on. You know what I'm saying? Don't change for no man. Like don't, even if he changed his mind, don't change yours. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If it's something that you really are against. And I changed my mind and I allowed him to have another situation where a baby was born in that situation. It was a lot. It
Yeah.
was a lot. And I lost myself almost completely. I could say almost completely because I had the most high. And so, again, this wasn't a physical situation. He never put his hands on me. He never beat me. But it was like it sucked the life out of me.
Right. Right.
Everything that I had, to every ounce of love that I had, he sucked it out of me. Like every boundary I had put up, I knocked it down for him. Like, you know what I mean? How you just lose yourself
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
person that you think loves you,
Yeah.
but that person don't know what love is. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And he even used the scriptures. Like we used to read the Bible, we used to pray, we used to fast. So don't think that this is just going on in, you know what I'm saying, out in the world. This is also going on within the context of Christians. I've been in circles where Christian women were afraid to even say things like this is going on in their home because they don't
Right.
want to be shamed by the church. So
Right.
this is going on in Christian homes, Hebrew, Muslim, any kind of background.
Say it. Say it,
This
girl.
type
Say
of
it.
behavior is going on. And if you feel uncomfortable, if you're constantly feeling hurt in your emotions, and this person does not care, if you are constantly, you know what I'm saying, being pulled into things that you cannot handle emotionally, spiritually, this person is calling you out your name. This person is not a good person to be in a relationship with. They're not a good person to be in a relationship with.
And let me ask
So
you this question, sis. So, the man that you were with, was he claiming a faith, a belief in the Most High?
yes, he
The
was.
gambler, the gambler.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Everything that's contrary to the scriptures, he was doing.
Mm.
But he was leading Bible studies. We was having like Shabbat services in our home. He was praying for people. And this is why I'm bringing this particular situation up, because that was high school. That was when I was in the world. And then people could be like, oh, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? But this is when I came to the Most High, right? And I'm in it. I am studying, I'm fasting, I'm praying, like, and I'm looking at this man like, how the heck are you anointed? And maybe he would have been if if he wasn't an abuser. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like there are things that make people abusers, things that they have went through that they don't deal with that make them abusers. So if he would have dealt with his stuff, maybe
Right.
he would have been a great man of Yah, right? But
Right.
because he didn't, he was living this dual life and I was witnessing it. And so I began to question the Most High. Like, do you love your daughters? You see all of this stuff that this man is doing, the stuff that he's saying to me. Like he was telling me I wasn't a good wife and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand, and it was all manipulation. It was all abuse. It was all to make me feel like I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't enough. Anybody make you feel like that? You gotta let them go. You have to walk away.
Right.
So I remember starting to pray about this
No.
situation because I was like, okay, yeah, I'm reading your word and it's saying all these wonderful things about you and all of this stuff and all the stuff that you don't like. This man doing. So, do you not love your daughters? Do you put your son above? Because there is a doctrine that be submissive, because the man and the da 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 da.
Right.
Yes, a man, a true man of the Most High, right?
Right.
But not somebody just reading the Bible. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you gotta. It's more than it's more to it than that. So I'm like, so what's going on here? And he began to work in me. I mean, he began to give me understanding of why I was in that situation. I had prayed for a husband, right? And I had prayed for a husband. I had prayed, you know what I'm saying, for a man, you know, in the faith and stuff like that. But he was showing me that that prayer, right, was an idolatrous prayer because
Mhm.
you wanted a man. You know what I'm saying? You wanted a man. Now I'm gonna show you what the difference is between a man and me. A
Say it.
man and me. You wanted a man. You didn't want me. You wanted me
Mhm.
to give you a man. So I gave you a man. There you go. So it was a growing process. And I'm not saying this is for everybody. And I'm not saying that the Most High did this to be mean. It was to teach me myself, teach me more about him, teach me, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times women stop right there and they put the Most High, they say, they toss him to the side. You know what I'm saying? You gave me this man, you must not be real, or
Mhm.
whatever they think. But it helped me to draw closer to him because now he had my ear. I'm like, okay, so how I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Right? And so it was just things that was beginning to happen because now we're all living together. You know what I'm saying? Me, him, the other woman, the baby. It was a
Wow.
whole lot. So on my way, like on when I used to go to work, I used to fast. I used to do secret fast because he would even want to know when we're fasting. He will tell us to fast, when to fast, what to fast about. He wanted to hear our prayers, what we were praying about. Like our prayers had to be heard by him and be approved. It was
No
crazy.
way.
Yes, it was. Yes, 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 yes. So any of this stuff, sisters, like I know I was leaving out stuff, because the whole thing was crazy.
Yes, please share as much as you feel comfortable so people can
Yes,
recognize
we
the
had to.
signs.
We had to. He wanted to hear our prayers, what we were praying about, and he told us when to fast and what to fast about. Now that wasn't listen, it helped me because I didn't know nothing about fasting until I met the man, but it kind of helped me because I used to see that in some instances the Most High would move if we went on a collective fast about a situation. Because like I said, all things were not bad. It was not like bad every day. You know what I'm saying? But
And I
the
just want to interrupt you real quick, sis, but the Most High's things work
right.
regardless of who is wielding it. You know what I'm saying? Fasting does work. And I think it also shows that the Most High is going to be with you. He is with you. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? It kind of, to me, when he responded to you, the Most High responded, you wanted a man, you didn't want me. He gave you what you asked for, just like with the children of Israel with King Saul. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Most High didn't
Right.
plan for them to have a king. They was like, we want a king. Everybody else got a king. We want a king. So he gave it. And the prophet told them he's gonna enslave your children. He's gonna take it to wars. He's gonna do this. And they were still like, give it to me, give it to me. So in our healing, it was something you said earlier too, that we have to look at the things, look at those parts in our lives and what we was going through, and in order to heal so we can shine a spotlight. And it's not to victimize, It's just we talk about the Most High showing us the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing us the truth. He's not victim. He's not blaming us. Saying, "Oh, blah blah." We all fall into situations, and we need Him to come. So we
Yes.
need to want the truth as well. So when He shows us the truth and how we can build and how we can learn, like you said before, then we have to look at it, and it's out of His love that He does that. That He does
Yeah.
that because you was
And he was the
there.
one.
You was there.
Mm-hmm.
You probably could have left at some point on your own, but you didn't. You stayed. But the Most High was with you in that. He didn't just forget about you or say, just let her deal with it. When you called for him, he was like, okay, let me show you this. Let me tell you that. So
I was in a deception. And a lot of us
mhm.
be in and out of deceptions at different times of our lives. I was in a deception because of the doctrine, sex is marriage. So I thought once, I laid down with this guy, you know what I'm saying? We said a prayer and all this stuff that okay, now we married, right? I was under the doctrine that the Most High don't like divorce. So I'm thinking in my mind that I'm married to this person, right? I'm thinking I'm married to this person, so I'm handling the situation like a marriage, like he was truly my husband, even though he wasn't.
Right,
But
right.
I was in deception. So I think a lot of times too, Yah is merciful in those situations because he's seeing, okay, you got blinders on, and as he slowly remove the blinders, because if he rip it off, girl, you're gonna be a whole mess.
Yeah, you're gonna
He
break
you gonna be a whole mess. You ain't gonna know what to do. So he slowly removes the deception. Okay, you see this? And once you take that and say, okay, yes, I see, and you make necessary changes, he gives you more. So that's what he was doing for me. He was breaking me from this situation while I was still in the situation. So he would tell me things like, don't eat what they eat. Prepare something separate for yourself. Like just little things like that I would do. And like when I go to work, you pray and fast to me while you're at work. So that way when you not, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing it when you're around him, so he could start questioning you why you fasting and stuff like that. So the short fast, I know people say, oh, it has to be a 24-hour fast. Listen, sometimes in extreme situations, y'all will honor your sun up to sundown, or your 3 to or 12 to, not 12 to 3, but you doing it for a certain period of time for for to pray and come before him. And I used to do that. And he would have me he would put all types of things on my YouTube feed. It's all him. It's all him that I would be listening to, that was freeing me, freeing my mind, freeing, breaking those strongholds off. And that's when he started showing me about deliverance and demons and the spirit realm and stuff like that. And so I'm looking at this man and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a whole demon that I'm in a relationship with. Maybe a few of them. That's not him. Like, that's not the real man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the real man is what I see, the person that, I want him to be 24/7, but he's dealing with his own internal battle as well. So that helped me to kind of see things for what they were. Okay, this is not a healthy situation to be in, because that person is not it's a vessel that's filled with demons. Do I
Right,
want to be involved with a person that's filled with demons? Absolutely not. And then I'm like, am I? Because I surely accepted all of this stuff. So it helped me to go through self deliverance. You know what I'm saying? To start looking at myself and things that, you know what I'm saying, could have attracted this person. And, you know, it just brought awareness to the whole realm of to the whole spiritual realm. And so once that happened, I began to pray more. Like me and the Most High have been rocking, okay? Because through that situation, he showed up and showed out the way he delivered me from that situation. And from that situation up to now, I've been pure, manless. And listen, I ain't gonna say that I wasn't still praying for a husband, okay? Because it's a process.
right.
But you learn things and you learn yourself, and you begin to, be empowered by the Most High, showing that he loves you and he will move for you. And you don't want to, you start to say, okay, I don't want to put nobody above you because you've been there. You've been there. Like, you've been there when I wasn't consistent, you were still consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been the only consistent thing for me. And I want this for other women because you don't know how much the Most High loves you. You don't know how much he wants to move for you and show that he's there and show that he's powerful, right? And show that he can heal you. He can heal every wound. I want my sisters to know that because then we wouldn't be so desperate, just accepting anything. Listen, these men are demonized. I mean, women are demonized too, because we're not going to say like that men don't get abused emotionally, physically, and verbally.
Right.
Abusers are demonic, and that's the whole point of it all. The only way you're going to get out of this situation is through prayer. It's
Yeah.
through connecting with the Most High and doing what he tell you to do. That's how you going to get
Absolutely.
away.
Absolutely.
So we was in my apartment, right? It was my apartment. I I have a heart for people, and this is why you would hear me say things about an abuser that people would probably be like, "What? Why you even thinking about that person like that?" Like, that is a whole,
Right.
but they're still people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so I wasn't going to put him, his woman, and his baby out in the street knowing that they didn't have anywhere to go. And so I began to pray on that situation. I'm like, well, how are we going to separate? Because this is my place, right? Girl, he got them an apartment. He got them an apartment. A
Yeah.
nice apartment. A nice apartment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, we was all still cohabitating, but at some point I began to no longer like have sex with him and he was cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we was just existing together. We was no longer, I think they the demons felt that
Right.
that scissors, that cutting that I was doing while I was
Mm-hmm.
fasting and praying at work cuz I was going to war. When he began to show me spiritual warfare and all this stuff, I was going to war. So at some
Amen.
point we was just coexisting. We wasn't sleeping together or anything. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, they gotta go. They gotta
Mm-hmm.
go. Get them their own place. You know what I'm saying? I started praying. Got them a nice apartment. A nice apartment. And I was like, wow. Like, I'm sharing these things because these are all the things that I remember I prayed for and that y'all y'all did. And
Right.
so the way I broke up with him is when they got that apartment, I was like, I can't do this no more. Cause he thought I was gonna move in with them. It was a 3 bedroom, it was nice. I was
Wow.
like, no, I'm staying here. I'm staying here. I don't want this no more. You know what I'm saying? And he still tried, but I learned from the last situation. Nah, don't go back. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back. Once the Most High has freed you, girl, stay free. And so he was still coming by. He was still calling. He was still trying to wear me down. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. And so most I said Maryland. My mother lived in Maryland. I was like,
Okay.
I don't want to live in Maryland. But if this is you, show me I'm supposed to go to Maryland.
Right.
Girl, my job was closing. They said, yeah, this site gonna close. So my job was closing.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot it was something else he did. And I was like, all right, I'm going to Maryland. Right. So I started making preparations to move, but I still had like a apartment full of stuff, his stuff that he brought, bed and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of furniture he had. And I was like, how am I going to get all this stuff out of here? Like, am I going to sell it? I'm not taking it with me. They had their own place. Their place was furnished and stuff like that. So I prayed on that. And one night he came by, him and his woman and the baby, and it was just a impromptu pop up. So I was very disturbed. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
don't be coming to my place. You know what I'm saying? Unannounced, da 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 da.
Right.
Da. And then the most I was just like, calm down. Just, so I calmed down. So then he started an argument. He was like, all this stuff belonged to me. And I was like, so? He was like, I'll throw it all away and you'll be sleeping on the floor. Right? Because literally, the only thing that belonged to me after he moved in, because I had threw all my stuff, because he had better stuff, was a
Mm-hmm.
mattress. I had bought a new mattress, right? You'll be sleeping on the floor. This is what his threat was. And
Mhm.
so in my mind, I knew what I prayed. Like, how I'm gonna get all this stuff out of here, right? So I'm like, so he was like, I'll throw all this stuff out. Like he was really upset, right? And so I was like, so what? Don't you know he began to move all that stuff and put it in the basement where it had like large dumpsters.
Mhm.
So I'm
Thank
sitting there, me and the other girl, and I told her, I said, "This is what I prayed." Right? And she was like, "You lying?" Because we had a relationship, me and her. You know what
you.
I'm saying? It wasn't nothing sexual, but we was coexisting. So you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no fighting and stuff like that. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna live like that. She was like, "You lying?" I'm like, "Nope." He moved everything out and threw it away, everything, and literally left me with clothes on top of my mattress. And I still got the picture, clothes on top of my mattress to sleep on the floor. And so after they left that night, I was on the floor praising Yah.
I,
I was on the floor praising Yah, like, what just happened? Because he freed me to move.
I love that. I love that. The Most High, He don't play no games. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
he don't.
You pray to
No,
Him,
he don't.
He gonna give you. He gonna give you what you ask for, and you gotta thank Him. You gotta see it. You
You
gotta
gotta see it.
realize, just like you realize, like, yeah, you answered my prayer. Somebody else could have been in there mad because they was on the floor with their clothes and their mattress, but you saw what Yah had provided. You prayed it, and it was perfect.
It was perfect.
He moved
And I
out his
slept on
own
that
stuff.
floor.
I love it.
All that stuff. And he had a bad hip, girl. He had a bad hip. That's what makes it so much better because anybody that know him knew he walked with a cane. He had a bad and yes, he walked with a cane because he was about 20 years older than me. So ladies,
Okay.
again, you looking for these older men that's going to take care of you and stuff like that. It comes with a price. Okay, you got to see some things before you just say, okay, I'm gonna be in a relationship with this person, and it comes with the price. And I share that whole thing because abuse is not just physical. It's not just physical. It's whatever makes you feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about one or two times. Repeatedly, somebody that's just not trying to love on you the right way. You know.